Hi, this is Sarah, the Stitch Mommy, and I have made some changes to my Stitch Mania plans. So I wanted to share those with you before Stitch Mania starts. My last update video, I shared that I would be doing Monogamous May with this piece, Waterfall in Yosemite. And I decided that I think that would be too boring to work on for an entire month of just this sky, because I'm guessing that's all I would get to. For the entire month of May, I think I don't want to hate this piece. So I decided that the last week or so has really, I decided that wouldn't be a good idea if I wanted to continue to enjoy working on this, to be forced to work on it for an entire month in a boring section. So I'll still work on this. I'll give it some more love, but not for Stitch Mania. Instead of that piece, I went back to my thoughts from the beginning of the year of maybe doing a different whip every weekday. I thought about maybe starting one new start that has a lot more color changes and doing Monogamous May with that. I saw a lot of people's plans start showing up on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, and really started to want to participate more than I originally thought. So Stitch Mania is meant to be a lot of starts. There's the original one was in 2015, so they had 15 starts in the month of May. Then the next year was 16. This year would be 17. Some people do a new start every day. All of those quantities of starts never appealed to me. I don't want to start that many things all at once. However, I saw somebody on Instagram yesterday, I think. This is a very recent change. I saw somebody on yesterday that was going to do a new start every week. And that seemed like a nice happy medium for me. It's similar to some of the themed plans I have done in previous months with Stitch Mania, only this time they would all be new versus one new and three, whips that match the theme. So this Stitch Mania is meant to be starting all the things. So I will start my weekly project. Each one will be a new start. I've decided on 5 starts, and they're all ones that most of them are ones that I've been meaning to start for a year or two and just haven't had a good excuse. So the annual start-a-thon of Stitch Mania seems to be a good excuse to start them. So I'll show you what I'm planning to start in the month of May. I am not planning any particular order. I will maybe decide that later. So you'll have to be surprised on that. But the first 2 are Golden Kite patterns. The first one is La Soirée, maybe is how you say that. It is a medium version of this pattern. They have a large version which has beautiful detail but is a little bit ridiculous as far as the size. They have a small pattern which seemed like it lost too much detail, but they had this medium version that was just right for me. As I showed in Empress Eugenie, in this one I am cutting off, I believe, just 1 page off the top. Yeah, I'm skipping the top page because I don't have time for background, and I might even skip this column at the side here. I'll be starting over here, so I won't have to make that decision yet. I like this little bench with the little drape, like the throw on it, and some flowers. I like that, so I don't mind stitching that. But over here, the clock and the floor, and I don't care about that. So I think I'll take off this back column as well as the top. But I'll be starting here on, let's see, this one is this 24 count Congress cloth in like a beige color, and it's like a canvasy material. It is not necessarily fabric. I'm not sure what it's made out of. It's called Congress cloth, and I think it only comes in 24 count. A lady on the Golden Kite forum that I'm a part of uses this a lot. And I started one, I bought a big piece and had 2 golden kites on it, and the other piece has just a little bit of a start in some dark colors, and I really like the coverage. I'm doing 2/1 half stitch on 24 count Congress cloth for La Soiree. The other golden kite one is Norwegian Ship Under Sail. My husband likes old sailing ships. I made him, if you saw my portfolio video, I made him a little one when we were first married that had a ship like that on it. So I thought this would be a fun one. This is probably my least exciting start of the 5, so I'll put this one at the end probably, and if I don't get to it, I won't be too broken up about it, but it would be nice to start it just so it's started, and if I get an itch to work on it, it's ready to go. This one I'll be doing, it's a little bit smaller. This is also a, you know, a small version. They have a bigger version as well. This one I'll be doing on, so it's only this big. This is, I believe, 25 count, and it might be linen. I think it's 25 count linen, 2/1 half stitch. So that's that one, and that's, I think that's just white or antique white. Those are 2 golden kites. I have also 2 Heaven and Earth designs that I'd like to start. The first one is The Flower Garden by Emily Vernon, or if that's how you say it, I'm not sure. Emile Vernon. This is a fairly large piece as well, and I have the 3 Sisters project. I don't know if I've showed, I think I showed very briefly once, but I'm doing a 3 Sisters pattern from Golden Kite that's the same artist. So I like their work. That one will be, it's a pretty big one too. This one is also going to be 2/1 half stitch. This is going to be on some clearance fabric I found on eBay, 28 count even weave in the color Rose, which any of the darker like beige or not quite white colors I think will have better coverage doing half stitches because it won't be so stark showing through the back. So this is Rose, 28 count. I'll be doing 2/1 half stitch on all 3 of those first ones in the classic way that I've been wanting to start full coverage pieces lately, whereas I'll do cross country in columns, parking in the column next door. This 4th one I am gonna try, this is the piece I want to try, meticulous diagonal parking in the style of Blitz Stitch and A Stitch Too Far. They have both showed tutorials on how they do this, and it looks fun. It looks potentially too tedious for me because of how many times you have to change your needle, the thread in your needle, but I'm curious about it. I'm curious to try it and to see how neat my stitches could be. I will do Quick Stitch April Fairy. This is another Heaven and Earth design, and I think because she's more cartoony like, that the confetti should be a little bit less than some of the other designs that I have, and could be good for that style. Brian Blitz Stitch starts his down, I think he usually starts in this corner, and A Stitch Too Far starts up here. Both of them have a different stitching method than is like the direction they stitch. I think they use columns maybe. It's slightly different than I do it. I stitch in rows from left to right. So I will be starting up in this corner. I normally start over here, but for this method I'll start over here, and I'll enjoy showing you that in my next update video, like demonstrating, or whichever one shows some progress on it, how I do that. But I'm excited to Their method involves making sure you only come up in a hole that doesn't have any previous stitching. Either 0 stitches are already in that hole or 1 stitch, and then you go down in a hole that has 2 or 3 stitches in it to keep things neater. And so I'm curious to see how I like that method and how it works for me. This is a nice cute little one, which is another reason why I thought it would be a good one, because that method needs full crosses. So this will be the same rose fabric, 28 count, and I'll do 1/1 full crosses for this one because diagonal needs full crosses, or else you get diagonal lines, as I have discovered on another project. The last 5th project I found, I thought, since all those ones, I've been wanting to start them for a while, but they're all full coverage, and that doesn't bother me necessarily, but just to throw something fun in the mix, I thought I would do another Mira Billia, start another Mira Billia. I have 3 started already, and I have another 8 patterns that aren't started yet, and 5 of them are ready to go with fabric and beads. So I looked through the 5 I had ready, and this one kind of called to me the most. It's called Ashley's Roses, and I have, let's take it out here, Ashley's Roses. It's mostly just cross stitch. There are a few beads, and it just had a colorful spring flavor that really looked like it would be fun to start in May. And this one, I got this as a present, and whoever, I think my mother-in-law maybe, I'm not sure, gave it to me. They bought me the fabric too. So it's got 32 count cream linen, which is a pale, it's pale cream, but it's not white. This looks darker than in the model. So that's kind of interesting. But, so cream linen, and it's also, she also got me the 3 colors of beads that are called for in this design. So that will be 1 Mira Billia, 2 golden kites, 2 heaven and earth designs for my 5 new starts in May for Stitch Mania. So I'm excited to participate. I've never done Stitch Mania before, and even though it's not 15 new starts or 31 new starts, it's 5 new starts. It's more than 1, it's more than 0. So I'm excited to participate. I'm excited to see what everyone else starts and live vicariously through all the crazy Stitch Mania-ness that goes on around the Flosstube community. And I will have a proper update maybe next week or the week after with WIP updates for you. So look forward to that. In the meantime, happy stitching and happy Stitch Mania!